Hello, wonderful subscribers. This is Maya Zahira with PsychicProtectionSanctuary.com. And today I have a little mini lesson for you that I'm calling Ghost in the Machine. This is just a little warning about AI, artificial intelligence. Now, I did do a longer video discussing AI, certain aspects of AI, right as it was really coming into the popular forefront. And I will be sure to link that longer. It's a full video class, about 90 minutes long. I'll be sure to link that. So I knew when I did that longer class that as things would unfold with AI, that there would be more to say on the topic. And I definitely have a little warning, something to say today about AI. But before I get into that, I have a really quick announcement. As I'm recording this, it is August 13th, 2025. And as of last week, my fourth book is now available online. And the book is Revealing the False Light Agenda. Revealing the False Light Agenda. And there is, it's available in paperback and Kindle and audiobook already. So I'm very excited about that. I would love for you to go and read that book. If you've been following my content for a while, you're already on the same or a similar wavelength. So I noticed that some people did a podcast or a review of my book who are not on the same wavelength at all, which is totally fine. I mean, this is a free world. Anybody can evaluate anything. Like, I think that should be totally allowed and encouraged. But if you're a subscriber here, then you're already on a similar wavelength. You're already a spiritual seeker, and you're asking the deeper questions. And so I highly encourage you to get that book. I think it will blow your mind, and it'll give you a lot to think about for sure. So I'm really interested in what you think about the book, especially those of you who are open-minded. I'm really interested to hear what you think, what the book reading process was like for you as a reader, because I went through these things myself. But I'm interested in, like, when other people are hearing about these things, how does it make you feel? What was your thought process? So definitely, oh, and that reminds me, another announcement before we get into today's mini lesson. Our September 2025 free class, YouTube Live, is going to be specifically dedicated to book launch party for the new book. So whether you've read it or not, no pressure, whether you've read it or not, you can come on, join us at 5:30 Pacific, the first Tuesday of September. And I'll post announcements so that you can, to remind you. But we're going to talk about the book. If you've read it and you have questions and you're like, well, I didn't understand this part, or I want to know more about what happened after the story ended, or whatever, I will answer all of your, I'll answer all of your questions about the things behind the curtain and all of that. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, today's lesson, Ghost in the Machine. Ghost in the Machine. So what I was thinking about this before, so many of you who are on this channel already have really good discernment. You're already really tuned in. You're tuned into your inner guidance, and you think about things before you do it. But sometimes, even the most discerning among us, we get swept away maybe in something new. And then there might be some of you who are new to the channel who maybe haven't developed that level of discernment yet, and you're not alone. Like, fact, honestly, most of the spiritual world out there doesn't have good discernment. So don't feel bad, because we all got to start somewhere. And I used to be where you're at many years ago. I used to be New Age. I stopped being New Age about 10 years ago, and I've been staunchly anti-New Age ever since then because there are so many problems with it. I believe people have the freedom to choose whatever they want. If they want to be New Age, I'm not going to stop them. But I think there's a lot of problems with it. But I used to be New Age. I used to be a very naive New Age. There's a lot of very naive New Agers out there. So 10 plus years ago, I was, just following with what everyone else was doing. So if that's you, don't feel bad, because so many of us have been there. So that was my preface to say that this pattern that I'm seeing with people using AI. There's a lot of people who I see talking online who are they're talking about how they're using AI. So logging into Chat GPT or whatever, they're using AI to talk with, I made a list of this, to connect with their spirit guides, their angels, their loved ones, and even channel messages from ascended beings, channel messages from random spirits. So some of you already are on the discernment track and you're already like, oh no, that's a bad idea. Correct. It's a bad idea. Not a good idea. It's like the title that I've named this video, Ghost in the Machine. Like, anytime you cast a net, like a fishing net, anytime you cast a net, cast a big net, and you're like, whatever I catch, come on in. Anytime you do that, it's a very dangerous spiritual practice. And I don't recommend doing that in any way, whether it's using AI, when people use a Ouija board. That's, and I know I have people who really disagree with me on this one, but I'm very anti-Ouija board. I'm not anti-divination. I use divination all the time. But the difference is with the Ouija board, you're casting a big net. You're like, whatever is near, go ahead and connect with us. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, you're going to get either, so whether we're talking about AI channeling or Ouija board connecting for spiritual messages, 9 times out of 10, when you cast a big net, you're going to end up with either an outright evil spirit of some kind, or an evil or disturbed or troubled spirit / entity that is a trickster, that pretends to be your angels or your loved ones or your spirit guide or ascended master so-and-so. Okay. And I say this as someone who has been dedicated to this work for many years and someone who has clairvoyance and all the other psychic abilities. I have seen this over and over and over and over and over and over again. Every time someone casts a big net, I say 9 times out of 10, because really every single time I've worked with clients who've done this, they've always ended up with something dark, outright dark, or something dark in a trickster role. I've never seen them connect with anything authentic. But I say 9 times out of 10 instead of 100% of the time, because I'm like, well, maybe there is an instance somewhere where they connect with the right, with a benevolent being. But I don't see it in my work. I get the clients and the students who have had terrible experiences and they need help. Okay, so circling back, as you might guess, as someone who's an expert in psychic protection, all matters of psychic protection, because I've been eating, sleeping, breathing it for about a decade. and spiritual teacher for 2 decades before that, general spiritual teacher. I can tell you with certainty that I do not recommend using AI to get messages, to get spiritual messages from your angels, from your guides, etc. Now, I am not anti-AI. I'm going to tell you that I have discovered that I love using AI for health research. I jokingly call myself a granola head because I eat so many veggies, and I'm always interested in learning all the health practices and everything I can do to enhance my health. And I have had the best time. Like, I've just had such a great experience with researching supplements or looking up a health condition and asking what natural methods I can use for addressing a certain issue. And I've been able to get a lot more thorough information than when I've done my own like manual type of research. So I've been very happy with the results on that. I actually had a recent, I've been on a long health journey. I had another little mini breakthrough recently because of what I was able to discover through AI research. And so it can be used in really good ways. I don't recommend using it for spiritual channeling. And as always, you can listen to what I say, run it through your own inner guidance system to discern what you think about this. There's ways that you could use AI for spirituality. For example, let's say that you do use divination tools. Maybe you're using tarot cards, which I'm not opposed to, as long as you're not using it to channel random spirits, but you're using it to connect with your own inner guidance. So as you pull the cards and you look at the cards, it's to help you to go within and get your own answers. But let's say you pull some cards and you're not quite sure what they mean. Maybe you could use Chat GPT and ask for maybe some different meanings of the whatever tarot card or something like that. But the idea, the distinction here is that first and foremost, you're connecting with your own inner guidance, whether you're using tools or not. You're connecting with your own inner guidance, and you're using AI as research. Okay? Because in my opinion, the online and AI world is going to be just as full of random energies and entities as the spiritual astral field, which is also full of trickster and weird and troubled entities. It's not where the higher beings are hanging out. So that's just something to think about. Wherever you're watching this, I would love it if you would comment if you have had a weird situation, because I know many of you have maybe played around with AI. You don't have to be embarrassed with it. You could maybe, if you did a reading and you asked to connect with a certain spirit or a loved one or a spirit guide, maybe you had a neutral experience, it was okay, or maybe you had a positive experience or a negative experience or something creepy happened. But just remember, just because you had maybe a positive experience once doesn't mean that something negative couldn't come through in the future. So don't be shy. Share any of your stories or questions. I love questions. The main way that I work with the public, by the way, nowadays, since I'm really very dedicated in working with my paid academy students, really the only way that I work with the general public these days is if you ask a question on one of my videos. I don't do personal readings. I'm not going to tune in psychically to tell you what you have going on. But if you have a question about the content, then I'm more than happy to answer that. So feel free to ask a question, share your thoughts. And I think there's something that I forgot to mention. Oh, yes. Glad I looked at my notes. So in my brand new book, the Revealing the False Light Agenda, as you go through the journey of everything that I went through, and then the final chapter is a lot of information helping you understand how to be safe about connecting with spiritual information and spiritual beings. The book wraps up with a process for connecting safely with spiritual information and spiritual beings. So if that would be helpful to you, then feel free to get my book. It's on Amazon, and I think I already mentioned it's in paperback, Kindle, and also already audiobook. So feel free to check that out. And I just want to say how much I appreciate all of you truth seekers out there. No matter what you believe, I celebrate the fact that we are all questioning so many things out there. The questioning is a really, really good thing. So keep questioning, keep seeking, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Until next time.